Hey guys, it's Jimmy at Movie Death Blows. Let's just jump right into this now. We got news last week, obviously, that Zack Snyder has finally got the Snyder Cut of Justice League to be greenlighted for HBO Max.
Right now, because it's still a little bit to do. But I mean, there is this. I have this. I don't know if this is helpful. See that?
Oh
Whoa!
my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
Wow.
god. Oh my god.
So that'll be coming in 2021. They announced we're almost 3 years after the release of Justice League. I think it was November of 2017. Let me just check my review notes here. In November of 2017 is when I saw it. So I mean, I've always been a big fan of the quote unquote Snyder Cut. I know it doesn't actually exist. I knew it didn't at the time, but I know there was the methods to create it to make it an actual thing. And I don't know if I don't think they're going to be doing reshoots with the cast. They said that probably wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I mean, everything changes when you hear about this. It's not. There's nothing concrete. You hear, oh, well, it's going to be a $30 million budget. Then I see, oh, well, it might go over 30 million. It's definitely going to be more than 30 million. And I assume they're going to have to do some reshoots with the cast because that Henry Cavill mustache thing cannot stand. I don't know why they decided to go with that. Why they didn't just give the guy just a full beard at that point. That's probably what they should do now, considering Superman was dead but not dead. I don't know. I don't know why they decided to go that route. I know there was the whole Mission Impossible thing that snuck in there, but it was a mistake. But anyway, I've been a big fan of the Snyder Cut. I've wanted to see it for a while. I remember, so when Justice League came out, I saw it 2 nights in the same week. They had one screening on Tuesday, another screening on Wednesday. I went to both of them. I didn't dislike the movie. This is the thing. Like, I liked the movie. I enjoyed my time in the theater. For however long it was. It was a 2-hour movie, which was the most surprising thing to me. But I liked the movie. Obviously, it was missing some stuff. When you make a movie of that size with that many characters and you have to add, a lot of backstory to it. I mean, you can't just. I mean, that's the first time we saw Aquaman and I mean, not the first time we saw him, but the first we got like an in-depth look at them. Like in Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, we saw the Flash for 10 seconds, Aquaman for another 10 seconds. I mean, Wonder Woman had already showed up at that point at the final battle. So, I mean, we got a glimpse of her, and we had her first movie already come out at that point. The other two and Cyborg we hadn't, and we hadn't gotten any infill on Steppenwolf. You can't make a 2-hour Justice League movie. Not when you're building these universes, not when these characters mean so much to people. And I know the production had its issues. I know Zach had tragedy strike him, and he had to leave, and then Joss took over, and then he did the job that he was contracted to do. And I don't think it was a bad job. I just think it was an unfinished job. They obviously didn't have the same vision. And this is the same issue you get into when you have the Star Wars sequels. Like, I don't know why they decided to go with 3 different directors for Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. If you're going to make these things, you need one particular vision. Like, you could have 3 different directors, but you need one person running the show at that point. If they wanted to bring JJ in to oversee everything, so it would have been, storylines would have just evened out, and it would have been fine. That's what they needed to do here. I know Zach left and, his vision obviously wasn't fully realized, but Joss needed some guidance at that point. I think just him and the studio kind of went out on their own limb and went from that direction. And it didn't work to a certain point. Because, I mean, you could tell. I mean, the first thing, let me read what I wrote in my review after I finally saw it. I said, everybody should see this movie. Everybody should see this movie again. Let me state for the record, I enjoyed the Justice League. It was a good, entertaining, fun blockbuster movie. But I left each time after seeing it feeling like it was good. But it could have been better. I wanted more. We got a taste of something that could have been assumingly great, but it was just missing something. That stuff happens, especially when you're going through basically 2 directors and reshoots and studio involvement and all that stuff. I understand that. I get it. But we as fans of these movies are asking for more. I want it done right. I want the characters I grew up loving to be done the right way. Justice League does that partially, but when you see it, you'll understand what I mean. You'll leave the theater thinking it was really good. I liked it, but it was a little empty, both script-wise and character development-wise. I can't fault the acting or characters, though. I loved every second of the performances or interactions between them. Like I said, you can't make a movie of this scale, of this size, and cut it down to 120 minutes. I understand Zach had like a 6-hour cut, or 4 or 5 hour cut. That's not going to happen. Okay, we all get that. That's why Watchmen has that, 3 different releases with 3 different cuts and all that stuff, and it's like 4 hours long. I have no problem sitting through a 4-hour movie. I'll sit through it regardless. I sat through Gods and Generals as a 15-year-old. I remember I made my dad take me, and there was like, an intermission in the movie. I'll sit there forever because I like movies. Most people that go to a theater are not going to sit there for 4.5 hours. I am a huge fan of sitting there for a long time. I like details. I like depth. That's what I want to see. But you can't introduce characters like the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg and just have like a 2 to 5 minute rundown of this is who Cyrus, or this is who Cyborg is. This is who the Flash is. This is how Aquaman came about. Like, he just runs into when Steppenwolf goes to steal the box from the Atlanteans. He just like rolls up in the mirror and they're like, "Hey, I know you, bye," and they just kind of leave. And the Flash is just like, there, how to, you don't get any depth, you don't get any backstory, and especially with the Flash when you see that scene that they had in Batman vs Superman where they did like the injustice tease of the evil Superman and stuff like that, like. Bruce already saw him, but he didn't know it was him. Like, nobody said anything about it. And then, the best part of the movie, I thought, was the beginning battle. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the Snyder Cut that happens. Like, obviously, you had the Greek gods that were there and the Amazons, 2 Green Lanterns. There were a lot of rumors that there was going to be Green Lantern, more than one Green Lantern in the Justice League to begin with. And I think we're going to see some in the Snyder Cut. I'm just not sure if it's going to be Hal Jordan, or if they're going to go in a different direction with any of the other ones, or we might see some ones from a different sector. I don't know that. I mean, there's probably people that can tell you more about that than I can, but I can't right now. We know we're going to see Darkseid. We know he was part of Zach's original vision. I think Ray Parker voiced him in whatever they shot for Justice League. So, I mean, that's something that people have been clamoring for. I've been clamoring for it, Darkseid. I mean, we've already got, so when you're in Marvel, you've got Thanos, and you've already seen Apocalypse. So, I mean, Darkseid's really the big bad on the other side in DC that we haven't seen yet. I mean, you obviously see him in the animated movies, and then, they just had Justice League Dark released, and Darkseid was a big part of that one. Steppenwolf I didn't have a problem with being the main villain. Obviously, it was going to set up something bigger down the line. He's Darkseid's uncle, and, he came here and, lost, and he was kind of banished, and then he came back trying to kick some more ass. And it didn't go that way. I didn't have a problem with the character. It just felt like he was kind of there to be the bad guy at that point. It felt like, we knew what was going to happen, and he didn't really have that much to do besides kick ass. Stuff I want to see in Justice League. I know we need more character development. We need more depth, like I was saying before. You can't just have these 5-minute cutouts where they go on their adventures to their home territory and they just like, hey, it's Mira, hey, it's Dr. Stone, hey, it's Flash didn't really have any mentors at that, or he saw his father in prison. Like, we want to see more of that. Like, Justice League felt like the way that Joss cut it, it was a movie that was for the fans, and it didn't really tell the stories to everyday people that don't read the comic books, that don't watch The Flash on the CW, that wouldn't watch Arrow, that don't know who these supporting characters' names are. Like, I know who Henry Allen is. I know why he's in prison. Many of the theater goers might not. The average person that walks in there is not going to know. hey, Barry Allen's dad's in jail because he killed his mom, but he didn't really kill him because Zoom went back in time and then he killed him, and then Barry goes back to Flashpoint. That's going to be confusing for certain people. There's more we need to see. I understand that why studios and directors cut the movies down the way they do, because they want to stay under a certain time limit. But like, Avengers Endgame is 3 hours long. It's 3 hours long for a reason, because they've built this stuff up where people you need closure. You need to see backstory. You need to see development of these characters. You need to see what they're doing, what they're trying to accomplish, and that goal achieved or not achieved. Infinity War was shorter than that because it wasn't the end of something, it was the middle of something, Endgame was longer because of that. Justice League was it's hard to say, because my biggest critique of DC and Warner Brothers is the amount of rushing that they've done to get these movies done. They're not building. They're trying to catch up. That's the problem. When I know Marvel didn't have this original idea that Iron Man's going to be this great big success, and then we're going to make 22, 21 movies, and everyone's going to come see them. I don't think that was the original plan. It just happened, and they rolled with it, but they did it the right way. I'm sure there were people in that room pushing them to be like, hey, we need more faster. And thank God Kevin Feige's around to say, just slow down. Let me build this. Let me get this right. Is every movie perfect? No. I mean, you have Thor: The Dark World, which everybody hated. I mean, not everybody hated, but it was, it was all right. It didn't bother me. The Incredible Hulk, which I liked. I liked Edward Norton in the Hulk role, but it didn't work out. There are missteps along the way. Nobody does anything perfect the first time. But they need to slow down, and they're going to make money. That's my message to Warner Brothers and DC and everybody that's over there right now that's in control. Just slow down. You need to take your time, let the characters develop. Like, I don't know why you didn't give Aquaman his solo movie first, why you didn't give The Flash his solo movie first. Wonder Woman got hers, and it was incredible. My feeling leaving the Wonder Woman theater was, hey, this is the first good DC comic movie in a while. They allowed, in my opinion, Wonder Woman was everything Man of Steel should have been, and it wasn't. I liked Man of Steel, but it wasn't. Man of Steel could have been great. It was good. Wonder Woman was great. Not good. Great. Incredible. Gal Gadot is amazing. They're never gonna find a live action Wonder Woman. That's just my opinion. I know Linda Carter started the whole thing, and she's a goddess to certain people. Linda Carter's great. She's not Gal Gadot. It's the accent. It's everything about her that makes the character incredible. But you need to build these blocks. You can't run before you walk. Get the movies out there, get people interested, get the fans to come. Fans are going to show up. I'm going to show up regardless to see The Flash. That's just, I'm going to show up to see Superman, I'm going to show up to see The Flash, I'm going to show up to see Batman. And most everyday people will. But the fans of this stuff are going to show up more often. And we understand more than the regular moviegoer. You can't just throw a load of information at them in 3 minutes and expect them to be like, oh, I'm going to go home and have to research this stuff now. Like, that's ridiculous. Give them, add another 10 minutes here, another 10 minutes here. Give me some backstory. Give me some exposition, something. And I think we're going to get that in the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. I know they're going back and forth. They're talking about doing either a 4-hour cut or maybe like a mini-series, like Watchmen did on HBO, maybe 6 episodes or something along those lines. I have no problem with either one. I think they should probably do like a 2-part movie instead of a 4-part one. That might be a little too long for certain people, but I mean, that'll be decided in however long the cut that they get and what Zach decides to go with. He's a very detailed guy, so it might be a lot of stuff in there. But I think I'm more of a fan of like a 2-part 4-hour miniseries than I am of a 6-part 4-hour one. Like, I don't want them to do what people have been doing online with The Irishman, where they're watching it in like 35-minute installments. That seems kind of stupid. Just make it 2 things. You can always pause. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, I'm really pumped for the Snyder Cut to come out. I really want to see what Zach does with it and what he gets out of the stuff that, what his vision was. I mean, he started this whole universe. I mean, Christopher Nolan was overseeing it, but this was Zach's baby, and I think he's going to do something really great with it, and I hope, you know, the internet outrage isn't as severe as it's been to the announcement of the cut. I hope when people finally see it, they're like, you know, that was not what I was expecting. It was good, and I really, really want to see it. All right, so that's our video on the Snyder Cut. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe. Movie Death Blows on YouTube. The link will be in this video. Thanks.